Also in our afternoon rush right now, President Biden announcing his plans to curb what he calls an epidemic of gun violence here in our country. Through executive actions, the president's calling for a review of what's considered a firearm. The move especially highlights the concerns over ghost guns. Those are handmade at home and they don't have serial numbers. They're very difficult for law enforcement to trace and track. The president's also pushing the Justice Department to draft legislation for red flag laws at the state level and propose a rule for stabilizing braces. Those devices can transform guns into short-barreled rifles, which are regulated by federal law. Here at home, we found some mixed reaction.
I think everyone needs to remember that this is a step forward. There is still a long way to go, and we need to continue to urge Congress to pass bipartisan safety measures.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Shante Passmore is live in our newsroom this afternoon with more details on what some gun rights groups are saying about these executive orders. Shante?
Mark, well, first of all, for our viewers back at home, if you're not familiar with a ghost gun or 3D gun, I should say, this is exactly what we're talking about. You basically buy the parts online and then you assemble it at home. No serial number is required. Now, the Connecticut Citizens Defense League likes to call this gunsmithing, and it's worried that these executive actions are going to hurt law-abiding citizens when it comes to building firearms, maybe say for recreation or for improving firearms. I did speak to the president, and she tells me that she doesn't believe any of this legislation is really going to help prevent people who shouldn't be having these guns in the first place from having them, such as convicted felons.
Now, Shante, I think a lot of people, myself included, you don't even really realize that these ghost guns are allowed here in our state. They're creating a problem, though, for law enforcement, right?
Well, Mark, we're learning that firsthand. I did speak to Waterbury Police, and it tells me most often these ghost guns are used in violent crimes. As you just mentioned, ghost guns are allowed here in our state, but they must be serialized and they must be registered with the state. And coming up at 5, we're going to take a look at how a homemade gun was used in the brutal murder of 2 teens right here in our own state. Live in the newsroom, Shante Passmore, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Shante,